The Triforce. It's the most sought out after artifact in the entire Legend of Zelda universe. It's a sacred relic made up of 3 different pieces: the Triforce of Wisdom, the Triforce of Power, and the Triforce of Courage. When all 3 pieces are collected and gathered, the Triforce has the power to grant the wish of whomever touches it, and molds the sacred realm to reflect that person's heart. Now, how is something like that useless? Well, it's not. The Triforce is amazing. So, there you go. The video is over now, right? Well, not exactly. The Triforce is amazing as long as it's together. But when the pieces are separated, they have an entirely new purpose that you never even noticed. Let's check it out. Now, the Triforce is a pretty tricky subject to try and figure out. However, it is stated that if the Triforce were to ever be separated, each individual piece would find residence with a user who exemplifies the specific traits found in each shard. Therefore, the Triforce of Power went to Ganon, the Triforce of Wisdom went to Zelda, and the Triforce of Courage went to Link. It's also said that if anybody were to ever come in contact with a piece of the Triforce, they themselves would be gifted with its power. And that's where we have our issue. Each individual piece of the Triforce, on its own, does not grant the user any magical abilities whatsoever. Where's the proof? Let's start with Princess Zelda, the wielder of the Triforce of Wisdom. In just about every Legend of Zelda title, Zelda herself is said to be the wisest person throughout the land. And this is true. She's always coming up with plans, helping Link, and pretty much being a never-ending fountain of knowledge. Arguably her most impressive incarnation, when it comes to her wisdom at least, was in A Link to the Past, where she demonstrated actual telepathy, finding and communicating to Link through her mind. Zelda is naturally very wise, so through the magical bonding of the Triforce of Wisdom, that's what we would naturally assume could have given her that amazing telepathic ability. Except, there's one problem. Ganon was already in possession of all the Triforce pieces, and was using its completed power to create the Dark World. This means that Zelda never had the Triforce of Wisdom throughout this game. Yet, she was able to telepathically communicate with Link. Then there's Ganon, supposedly summoning the power of the Triforce of... power. Or maybe I should have used a different word. Ganon, however, is a little trickier to talk about when it comes to this topic, because he always seems to be in possession of the entire Triforce at one point. And in Twilight Princess, he survives his execution, spoilers by the way, supposedly because of the Triforce of Power. But in the Ocarina of Time, he managed to curse the Deku Tree and take advantage of the monsters infesting Hyrule, all before the door to the Sacred Realm was even open. Maybe Ganon is just naturally a really powerful guy. Also, I personally wouldn't mess with Ganondorf. Would you?
He didn't go! Shot a landing on his feet.
And finally, we have Link, the young elf boy who's in possession of the Triforce of Courage. And it's here where we will find out the true power and purpose of the Triforce. Now, Link is a hero, constantly traversing dangerous landscapes and confronting very menacing and life-threatening enemies. However, Link does not, in any of the games where he possesses the Triforce of Courage, display abilities beyond those in games where he doesn't have it. Basically meaning that, even when Link has the Triforce of Courage, he's not that much different in games where he doesn't have the Triforce with him. He's practically always the same. Why is that? Well, let's think about this. Why is Link a silent protagonist? Sounds kinda random, I know, but just bear with me for a second. It's because Link is meant to be a character that we can relate to. When we play a Legend of Zelda game, he's supposed to be someone that we can project ourselves onto. You are Link. When Link is given a seemingly impossible obstacle, he overcomes it, no matter how difficult it is, and no matter how many times he falls and fails. He's like that in every game, Triforce or no Triforce. The truth about the Triforce is that it simply acts as a placebo to the user. There's no real magic in the individual pieces. For example, if you gave me a sword and told me to fight this thing, I'd probably run away and say, go f*** yourself. But if you gave me a sword and an ancient relic that you said would give me amazing courageous powers, then I'd fight this thing. Link himself. The idea of Link is proof that the Triforce pieces do nothing. If Link is really meant to be a character that we can all relate to, then simply giving him an item that magically makes him the most courageous and fearless warrior out there doesn't really make the most sense. You know, in a way, we all have a piece of the Triforce with us, because the true power and meaning of the Triforce pieces is about summoning the power within yourself, whether you're actually aware of it or not.